Okay, we're starting section 4.1, and basically it's just a review of lines, but instead of doing it with a y equals mx plus b format, we'll be using a function notation. F of x equals mx plus b. And of course your slope, as you learned previously, is the rate of the change of the y over the rate of the change of the x. So the up and down movement over the left and right. Determine whether it's increasing or decreasing. A line like this has a positive slope, it's increasing, a negative slope, decreasing, a constant slope, it remains the same. So that's just a little background for lines. Now, number one is a linear function is given, and they want you to do A, B, C, D. You're given this function, h of x is negative 4x plus 3. The first thing they want you to do is determine the slope. Well, your slope is the coefficient of the x term when it's in slope-intercept form, which it is, so that's negative 4. What does that really mean? That can be expressed as negative 4 over 1, which would mean 4 units down, 1 unit right, or you could write the 4 positive and the 1 negative, which would mean 4 units up and 1 left. And it has a negative slope, so the line should be decreasing. The y-intercept here is this value, that is b. So you would actually be plotting the point as 0, 3. And then part B says to use the slope and the y-intercept to graph the linear function. Well, the first thing you would plot is your y-intercept of 0, 3. Then from that point, you want to use your slope. You either go down 4 and write 1, which would put you at 1, negative 1, or you start from that y-intercept and use the other one, which would be up 4 and left 1, and that gives you the point negative 1, 7. That's the actual arithmetic that goes on, but you can visually see. To me, it's easier to visually see it than it is to figure it with arithmetic. And then the last thing, of course, that you would want to do is to connect those points by drawing a line. With your MyMathLab, you will choose the line, click on the line, and then you will choose the y-intercept, and then one of the other 2 points that you found, either the negative 1, 1, or the negative 1, 7. One of those 2 you can use, and it would produce your line for you. You don't have to have the 3 points. I just like, from back in the day when we did them long-handed, I always like to do 2 points to the initial y-intercept and then 2 more points. And then it says to determine the average rate of change. Well, we learned that the average rate of change is the same thing as the slope when we're talking about a line. So the average rate of change would be the negative 4. And then you need to determine whether it's increasing or decreasing. Since it's going downhill, the x's are getting larger, the y's are getting smaller, we say it is decreasing.